Basically, security at Geita is composed of security, the police, private security, that is SGA, and also community policing. And basically, when we started with only in-house, we could see there are gaps, especially when crime started escalating. So that's when we had to enter the MOU with the police, memorandum of understanding with the police, and the police started giving support to the mine. But after a period of time, we learned that police is more of use of force than soft approach, and which escalated even conflict even further. And at some point, you find we record a lot of, injuries, incidents, and the like. So then we learned that we need to adopt soft approach, which, of course, led us to introduce community policing. And that is now back in 2015, around mid-2015, going towards the end of 2015, when we launched a pilot project at Nakali village. And one would ask, why Nakali village? The crime on the mine, 60% of the crime or intrusion on the mine was coming from Nakali. Nakali is a community that is inside our concession. The full community is living within our concession. And part of that community, they conduct illegal processing. So it attracts more youths from outside into that community. And then from there, they see opportunity to come onto the mine to steal gold-bearing material. So we thought it is good to start where the bigger problem comes from. So that's when we launched our community policing initiative. Actually, we had a training of, if I'm not mistaken, 131 youths. That was the first round. And it was a very extensive training to give them understanding and also empower them with a bit of, human rights, legal, because we involved various stakeholders to provide training from the police, from the immigration, because we are also dealing with illegal immigration from the neighboring countries like Burundi and the like. So this pilot project took us like 4 good years to learn and understand the pros and cons before we rolled it out to other communities. So, but after we introduced it, we could see the change, that the level of aggression, the conflict between the mine and the community, especially Nakali community, started to decline. And by 2020 is when we started now rolling it out. After we have had enough time to study and close all the gaps. And when we started rolling it out, we changed a little bit the approach from the original concept. So with the new approach was the police would spearhead the project from technical side, because our thinking around that was this initiative is not only for the mine, it was also to address crime within the community. So you want the community to support, protect your concession, but at the same time, you empower them to protect to prevent crime within their community themselves. So we saw it at Nakali actually. we were getting feedback through the forums that we initiated, where the previous incidents that were happening at the village, like women being raped, children, young girls going to school, they can't go because they fear they will be raped, theft of cattle, housebreaking, those type of, crime were completely, addressed. So we could see the benefit, and the community themselves, they could see also the importance of having this initiative. So then 2020 we started rolling it out. By now we are talking of 15 localities that we have introduced this community policing. And in total, we are talking of about 850 something youths that have benefited from this initiative. So we saw, without community support, you can't, as an entity, you can't prevent crime on the mine. But with the support from the community, and community become part of the business, we have seen it is working very well. Not only reducing crime, but improving relationship, because there is a win-win situation. From employment, part of the amount that is being paid to the community leadership goes direct to the community development. So they are seeing direct impact to the society. But when it comes to the police, we first started with only one area of operation where the police would deploy police officers on the mine. But we also expanded after we engaged this initiative of community policing. And because it is one of the commission within the police force, we said we should also include that into the MOU that we forged with the police force. So that the police, when we engage the police to run this, it is within our MOUs that they are responsible as technical support to make sure that whatever community policing are doing, should there be any issues, then the police are already there to support them. So they work as partners. And then we looked at the side of investigation and information gathering and sharing. Because internally, as I said earlier, you could see we have compliance and assurance section within the department that is dealing with intelligence, investigations, all risk-related issues that need to be looked at is centered within compliance and assurance department or section within the department. So we forged again that portion with the police. So for now, you will see we are working on the operation with the police, working on the investigation and information sharing with the police, community policing with the police. So all this comes back as an integrated solution when we talk of security of the mine. But again, with that relationship, we have gone as far as, because we know police has got limited resources, so we do empower them to ensure that we give them fuel for their vehicles, for their patrols within the community. And sometimes we have quarterly joint operation, especially when we go for this time of the year when it is high season in terms of crime, because people are looking for money for Christmas, New Year, and the like. crime tends to increase. So we normally conduct joint special operation with the police, where we will provide fuel and also give few of the community policing to work with the police to do patrols within the community, to ensuring that the community is always safe and secured. Apart from operation, community, we do also have technology. You might have gone into our control room and you saw. Basically in AGA, Geita is one of the operations that have got very advanced technology in terms of surveillance system. We have cameras that have got 10 Ks range capacity, and analytics you could have seen. We have a night flare where you can detect and see a person during the night, whether it's within the dense forest, because it has the analytics capability. You can see the movements and trace and track where the person is going, and then once that is detected, the control room will communicate to the team on the ground. And our teams are also equipped with vehicles, but those vehicles have got cameras on. Currently, we are working on to ensuring that all operation teams have got body-worn cam on, because previously we had a situation whereby there would be allegation of sexual harassment or people being abused and the like. So when we go into investigation, you find sometimes you can't prove, because there's no another person that will stand in between to say, yes, this is what happened. So you rely much on one side information, but with the camera on the vehicles and also on individuals, if something happens or allegation is reported, you go back and review cameras to see exactly what happened. So that has helped a lot to ensuring that there's no human rights allegation or abuse. And also, human, normally we are naughty if we are alone. And so sometimes having that is a kind of, deterrent. Should a person have an ill intent to do something not good, because if he feels that he's alone, he's comfortable, he can misuse his position or whatever. But once you have camera on and you know that everything that is happening is recorded, it makes you automatically, behave. So we have seen it, especially on the safety side, when we had an incident. People quickly ran to saying, I was fatigued, when there was no onboard cams in the vehicles. But now, when a person is involved in an accident, nobody will quickly run and say, I was fatigued. We'll go back to the camera, we'll see what happened. So whatever you are saying, we relate to what is being observed through the camera. Then we'll see there was no fatigue, there was like reckless driving and the like, and that's what caused, So, so in terms of technology, we have surveillance system, we have access control system. You might have seen some of the areas we have facial recognition system. We have alarm systems. We do also have clear view fence with electric fence on, especially around the process plant. We have also digital radios for communication. So it is a very integrated system. though currently they're running independently, but our plan is that first we had to do the upgrade recently, which we are going to complete this year. And then next year we'll start with integration, whereby the access control system will be linked directly to the surveillance system and the alarm system. And later we'll go to the last stage of automation, whereby operators will not have to, most of the time, use their joystick trying to move the cameras around. So if there is any movement, camera itself will be moving, tracing what is the movement about, and once it detects, then the operators would send the response team to go and respond. It is a good thing, but also from employment, sometimes, technology, the more integration is into the technology, the lesser people you need. That's a bad side of it, but it is effective and you reduce human intervention. Because one of the high risk here at Geita is collusion. That's the most challenge that we have, is collusion. So the more you depend on technology and you integrate and automate technology, the lesser you have human intervention, and collusion risk also declines. Yeah. The size of our special mining license, our concession is 196.27 square kilometer. That's massive. Unfortunately, with geographical features of the area, you'll find it is within the dense forests, in the hills, between the hills, and it makes it even difficult if one need to do the fencing. So what we have done as the mine, and it is the requirement by the law, that you need to demarcate your concession. So we have done, we have installed the beacons around the entire concession, and where in the forest area where there is no community, one beacon, the distance between one beacon to the other is 500 meters, but within the community is, if I'm not mistaken, is 200 meters. Because the more you are into the community, you need to show people that this is the demarcation, unlike in the forest area where there's no, you don't expect people to, So we have that, but in some areas where we have had intrusion, like the ASM activities, we went further, making the ring roads. You open up the road alongside the concession to show anybody who crosses the road who will understand that, because there is also beacons, they will understand that the moment they cross the roads, they are inside the concession. But we went further also to installing big borders, and we mark them, we paint and mark them with words to show that the warning that this area is restricted, no unauthorized access. So some of the area where we have illegal mining or ASM activities, and like last year we had gold rush adjacent to our boundary, where we were talking of roughly, when it was at the peak, was around 15,000 people. You can imagine you have 15,000 people next to your concession, and there's no fencing. And they were spreading all over the places because at the gold rush, there's no control. So what we did, immediately when the gold rush happened, we went and made a very wide open road with the big boulders placed close to these beacons that were constructed, painted, marked them with the warning signage to prevent them from. But overall, we use community policing. That is our first line of defense. When you talk of private security to the community structure at Geita, normally when we work with community policing, it comes to the point where we need to work together, right? And our teams, operation teams, are blended. You'll find the roving or patrol team, there is a police in there, there is in-house officer in there, we have private security officer, SGA for this case, is in there. So when we do patrol or there is an incident that the team is attending to, it's always and it's obvious that they need to engage and communicate with the community policing as well. That we have a situation, for example, there is intrusion on the mine, and the intruders are running towards, let's say, a community. This private security and our teams will contact the community policing officers in the area where these intruders or illegal miners are running towards, so that they can be aware and be ready. Should they get to their area, then they are prepared either to apprehend or also to escalate, you see. So it has been a very good working relationship, but another area is that community policing themselves, they have opportunity to be employed by private security company. For example, as SGA, we had agreed that before they think of recruiting people from outside, the first choice should go to the community policing. Because one, they are trained, they are exposed to the environment, they know the challenges that we have. So when they get opportunity, they are recruited into the mine. They work and they give a very good support in terms of securing the tenement. But also for them, it is the opportunity that they get employment, they grow, they get experience for their career and their future. Security function is the front desk. We are always exposed. We are in the forefront for any risk. I give an example. When COVID-19 pandemic, came, everybody will say doctors were exposed, but security personnel were exposed as like doctors, because we are dealing with people. We are the one who are receiving people before even doctors, like the mine. We are the access points. We are controlling movement of people. You interact. So that's our daily life. So in order for us to operate professionally and also to comply with international best practice and international laws and the laws of the country, it is critical that every security personnel undergoes human rights training, and it's a critical component to our business as well, because AGA, we know, is a signatory of, a human rights, voluntary principle and human rights, So it is a call from the corporate office that any security personnel working within our tenement, they must undergo human rights training. And that call has made a lot of changes in our daily operation. When we started, before this human rights training was introduced, you could see even the level of third-party injuries, physical confrontation, and allegations on human rights violation and the like were a daily song, I put that way. But after we introduced and we went further, as ensuring that it is embedded in our site-wide induction, because if you go to our site-wide induction, there is a portion talking of human rights. And if you go into the contract, for example, that we have signed with our contractors and vendors, there must be a clause that states clearly that the contractor must submit a policy addressing issues to do with human rights, discrimination, sexual harassment, and the like. So it is something that it has been embedded in our systems and processes. So for that matter, security at the operation level are the drivers of this initiative. And that's why even if you go out there, if you ask any security personnel about human rights, they will tell you about the framework, the PRR, and they will explain. So it is something that we live up to, and it has been embedded into our processes.